the sacrifice or the yagna. So we have to extend this idea beyond this sacrifice and understand that it is society which sustains us, and in turn we have to sustain the society or the country or the whole world. One cannot live for one's selfish ends, one should live for the others. Then only one can live a better life, a profound life, the life of spirituality. So only by doing so, parasparam bhavayantaha, the mutual cooperation between the devas and you, the people, the humanity, you can reach the highest, param bhavam avapsyata. So through karma, through actions, one can aspire to reach the highest goal of the moksha, because by doing a selfless action, working for others, working for the society, one develops the purification of the mind. The purity of mind will lead to jnana nishtha, the qualifications for the knowledge. And devas will give us the desired objects. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha dasyante. And they in turn will be cherished, or they in turn will be developed by the yajna. Yajnas, we offer offerings to the devatas. That offerings are the sustenance for the devatas. If we don't give the devatas what is due to them, tairdattan apradayebhyaha, one who eats for himself, he is a steal. He steals from the devatas. What is due to the society, what is due to the country, what is due to others, we have to give. So our life and our earnings is not for our sake only. It is for the sake of others. It is for the sake of society. It is for the sake of the other people. So what is due to others, what we have to pay back to others, we have to pay back to them. Then only our life will become truly meaningful. Otherwise we will be in the place of a thief. A thief steals what is not due to his or her. A thief steals what is due to others, what is belongs to others. So if we enjoy what belongs to others, then we will be in the position of a thief. We will be leading the thief's life. That Krishna specifies in the shloka number 12. And in shloka number 13 he says, one who eats after performing the yajna. Yajna has got a very higher annotation, higher meaning here. Yajna is selfless activity. Whatever selfless activity we do, the first share belongs to the others. We have to enjoy and we have to eat whatever is left for us after the sacrifice. That sacrifice is a meaningful work. It makes our life really enriching, fruitful, and really rewarding. And that is the secret of Karma Yoga. Yajna Shishta Amruta Bhujaha. That Amruta, the immortal. So whatever left after giving it to others, I do my work, I share my earnings with others, my family, society, etc. Whatever is left after giving to others, if I enjoy, that becomes the cause of immortality. That becomes the means of immortality. That is why it is called Amruta here. In the very ordinary meaning of this shloka is, you do perform yajna. After performing yajna, you feed others. After all the people, including the beggars, everybody is fed. What is left, what food left is after that, and that becomes the Amruta. That will give us immortality. That will purify our mind, and purity will lead to immortality or the moksha. This is the meaning of yajna shishta ashinaha, one who eats after performing the yajna. So every action will become an yajna, every activity will become an yajna. We are not doing every activity for our own sake, we are sharing the results with others. We are doing work for the others, and others will enjoy that first. The fruits of action, every action belongs to others. After they have enjoyed, what is left, that we should enjoy. That is the real purpose of Karma Yoga. So this is the meaning of Yajna Shishta Ashinaha. Such people are really saintly people, Santaha. Such people, Sarva Kilbishaihi Muchyante. They will be free from all kinds of mistakes, all kinds of sins. You know, in human life, we do a lot of mistakes, whether we know it or not. Inadvertently, we commit so many mistakes, but all such mistakes will be blown away, will be removed by performing the action. No action is without any blemishes. Every action, sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agni rivavrutaha, Krishna says in the Gita. Every action has got its own blemish or the defect. You cannot imagine an action without any defect. So those defects which we do while doing our work, everything will be removed if we develop purity of mind by transforming every action into Karma Yoga. Muchyante sarva kilvishaihi. So one who eats or one who enjoys without giving to others, without sharing to others, without keeping some amount of his earnings or some amount of the result of his work by sharing the others, he will eat only papa. Bhunjate te tu agam papaha. These are very strong words used by Krishna. These people are papas, they are the sinful people. They eat only sin. Eating represents the enjoyment we derive from the fruits of the work. I do work, I earn some money, I use it for enjoyment. If I do only for myself, what I am enjoying is not the pleasures, what I am enjoying is really the sin. I will be engaged in a sinful activity by enjoying in a selfish manner. Selfishness is the problem here. Selfishness itself is the sin here. Bhunjate te tu agam papa hu pachanti atma karanat. One who eats or one who cooks for one's own sake. Here the example of the cooking is given. Suppose we cook for others, we cook for the family, if we cook for the neighbors, and we share with others, we share with family members, and then we eat, and that result, that enjoyment of the food will become the means of immortality. It will purify our mind, it will purify our body, and it will lead to ultimate realization, Krishna says. Param bhava mavapsyata. That is what we have read in the earlier shloka. So here, if we eat for our own sake, though there is a need in society, there is a lot of need. There are hundreds and thousands of miserable people, destitute people, poor people. We are not ready to share our wealth with others. We are not ready to share the results of our work with others. That means we want to enjoy ourselves. It is tantamount to eating the sin itself. We are all sinful people if we do like this. Krishna says in the strongest words, we are all papas if we do work for our own sake. And Swami Vivekananda writes to Mysore Maharaja, one who lives for others alone will live, the rest are dead than alive. Because the life is short, these vanities are just temporary, transient. They come and go. All our enjoyments, all our pleasures will be destroyed in no time. So we cannot take our wealth after the death to other loka. We cannot take even our body. It is impossible. So our bodies and the enjoyments we derive from the body, everything is transient, and our pleasures are transient, and our pleasures are nothing but the dukkha or the misery in disguise. Sarvam dukkham vivekinaha, the yoga says. So in this case, if we enjoy for our own sake, for the selfish purpose, that means we are papis, we are the sinful people. The Krishna doesn't count the ordinary sins at all. Even the untruthfulness, there are hundreds of sinful activities we commit, but this is the most heinous crime. Living for oneself, not living for others, enjoying oneself, not caring for others. This is most sinful activity according to Krishna. So we become the sinners due to this. Then what we eat, what we enjoy by being a sinner, we eat only the sin. We do not enjoy at all. It is not an enjoyment at all. It is nothing but the sin we eat. With this background, we will come to the next sloka for the detailed understanding. Here what we have seen so far is the individual concept or the concept of yajna in the individual realm. I as an individual, how I can contribute to the society and lead a life of yajna. This is the substance of the slokas we have so far studied. There is an universal dimension to this. What is that universal dimension? The whole cycle of this creation is revolving around this principle of yajna. So our individual life should be yajna. So the whole creation is an yajna. So our individual life should be in tune with the cycle of yajna, that is universal yajna. So universal life should be our life. Individual life should be an universal life, and universal life should be an individual life. There should not be a conflict of interest between universal cycle, universal principle of yajna and the individual concept of the yajna. This is the meaning. So in order to show that, Krishna says some natural phenomena that is happening from the beginning of the cycle. So what is cycle according to Indian tradition? It has no beginning and no end at all. What is meant by no beginning? Suppose there is a creation. There is no absolute creation according to Indian tradition. A creation means it is just a projection from the earlier creation. There was an earlier creation, now it has become dormant, it has become potential, it has become unmanifested, from unmanifested to the manifestation. That is what is called creation. From seed to the plant. Again it will go back to the seed and then it will become the plant. So there is no such thing as creation of the plant. Plant is already there. Plant is there in the form of the seed. From where the seed has come out? The seed has come out from the plant and the plant has come out from the seed. In the same way, from unmanifested to the manifested state. How it happened? It all follows the concept of yajna. Yajna's another very important factor is giving up, not becoming selfish, not living for one's own sake. You see that universal cycle of the creation is nothing but the process of yajna. And Krishna continues, Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyaha yajnaha karma samudbhavaha. Anna. Anna is a very vital ingredient for the growth or the very birth of every individual. Here, bhutani means the bodies. Atman doesn't grow by the foot. Atman doesn't grow. Atman doesn't decay. Atman never gets changed. That Atman we feel in the body, that is called a Pratyagatma. That's all. Atman is everywhere. Here Bhutani means the bodies, mind, etc. The conglomeration, the group of the body and mind is called here Bhutas. What is the origin of this body-mind conglomeration? The body and mind get sustenance by the anna, the food. Food is the vital ingredient. That's why the Taittiriya Upanishad says, Annadeva kal vimani bhutani jayanti, annena jatani jivanti, annena annam pravishanti abhivishanti. Every creature is born out of anna, the food. And we live because our bodies and the mind are being sustained, are being nourished by the food. And we go back to the food. We are moving towards the food. We are moving towards becoming extinguished. Our body will get destroyed. Where it will go? It will go to the soil. It will become the soil. It will get destroyed. Once again, that will become the food for another creature and another body is developed. So, annad bhavanti bhutani. This is the one strand of this cycle. All the living beings, as I told you, the bodies and minds of the living beings are born out of the anna, the food. And what is the origin of the anna? From where the anna comes? Parjanyad anna sambhavaha. Parjanya literally means here the clouds. We know the clouds shower the rains. So ultimately it is the rain which is the origin of the food. Without rain we cannot expect harvest. We cannot expect the growth of the plants that gives us food. So plants are the origin of the food. One may say we are eat meat, then how the plants will become the origin of the food. Even the meat of an animal, chicken, etc., we eat have primarily come from the plant itself. So if we eat a chicken, the chicken sustains itself from the plant itself. So ultimately, primarily, it is the plants that is the origin of the food, and that the plants grow only by the harvest, by the rains. Rains have source in the cloud. That is why Krishna says, Parjanyad anna sambhavaha. So what is the origin of the Parjanya? It is very interesting. How the clouds are formed. Clouds give us rain, but how the clouds are formed? Yajnat bhavati Parjanyaha. Yajna is the source of the Parjanya. So there are several meanings given by different commentators, but the Shankara says Yajna is the result of an action. What is the action? Action we perform in the process of homa or the sacrifice is the karma, and from karma we have yajna. Yajna is the result. So if I do a punya karma, I will earn punya. That punya may not fructify immediately. I may not get the good result, but it will be there in the potential form. In one time or another, I get the result of the karma. Suppose I have given alms to a poor man, I may not get the result immediately, but the punya is stored in my psyche. That punya is stored somewhere. In my life, in this life or the next life, I will get the result. This is the stored punya is also called the apurva. Apurva is the very special technical word. When I do a performance action, selfless action or the sacrifice, immediately I will not get the result, but the punya is stored, the result is stored. If I do a bad action, the papa is stored. If I do a good action, the punya is stored. It will result after due time. When it is due for it, it will result into dukkha. If I had done bad karma. Suppose if I had done good dharma, after some time the same papa that will result into some kind of dukkha or the misery. So that stored one immediately that creates after the action is called apurva. And Shankaracharya explains yajna is not immediate action, yajna is the result of the action. So yajna samudbhavaha yajnaha bhava yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. The stored actions, stored punya phala of all the creatures, those who are pious people who have done good work in this world. So I told you there are two meanings. One meaning is sacrifice itself, yajna itself that we perform in the agni or the fire. The second meaning is all our good actions. So they say if there are hundreds of people, plenty in number, who are doing good actions, selfless actions, engaged in karma yoga, they accumulate lot of punya. That collective punya will result into good rain and a good harvest. That is the traditional belief. Why we are not getting rains in time? Why we are not getting good harvest? So that is the psychological explanation, philosophical explanation Indian tradition gives, because the people of the region are not following the dharma. Because since they are not following dharma, punya is not created, punya is not accumulated. The accumulated punya of all the people in a particular region will give us the rain, will form the cloud and ultimately gives us rain. So this is what is called yajna here. Yajna is created by karma. Krishna says next, yajnaha karma samudbhavaha. Then what is karma? Actual performance of the sacrifice. So I am engaged in a work, karma yoga. I work in office. I do very honest work. I don't take bribe. I am not into corruption at all. I from morning to evening work incessantly, very hard for the welfare of the people, welfare of the society, and I work hard for the goodness of my family, and I think my life is meant for others. My life is not for myself. I am doing work for others. I am doing work to please others. I find my happiness in other happiness, and that is the real karma yoga. That karma yoga is called here the karma, that karma or the sacrifice. By doing sacrifice, what I accumulate punya becomes the yajna. That punya or yajna will result into good rains. That good rains will be the source of production of the plant, the good harvest. And there is a plenty of food for everyone. The creatures, the humanity grows, or the animals grows. This is the cycle Krishna presents before us. Of course, it is little bit difficult to understand, and if we think over logically, we can determine the essential meaning of this sloka. This is the cosmic law. So the what we can derive out of it, you see, the bhuta anna, the bhutas have no independent existence at all. We, the beings, think we are independent. We are not independent. We depend upon the food, and food is not also independent. Food doesn't come out from nowhere. Food has got a source. Food is produced from parjanya or the rains, and rains is not independent. Rains are not independent. Rains come from the accumulated punya or the yajna, and the accumulated punya has got a source only in our proper action called karma yoga. Even karma yoga, how to perform karma yoga? What is the modes and conduct of the karma yoga? One should teach us. So Krishna continues, karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. This is very important. We cannot determine what is karma and what is not karma, what is akarma, what is karma yoga and what is not karma yoga. That is determined by Vedas, the scriptures. Scripture will say, don't indulge in himsa. That is karma yoga for us. That is karma for us. So all our actions are determined by the Shastras. If we follow the Shastra, then we are leading a dharmic life. We are leading the life of karma yoga. Otherwise, we are not leading. So we cannot decide what we should do, we should not do. We should follow the injunctions of the Shastras, the instructions of the elders, and we should follow the dharma. Dharma is the teaching of the Vedas. That's why Krishna says here, karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasma sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. This karma, the actual performance of karma yoga, or every action for that matter, is come from the Brahma. Brahma means instructions of the Vedas here. The Vedas are also called Brahma because it has come from the Brahma. It has come from the Creator God. Everything has come from the Creator God. The Vedas, the knowledge also has come from the God. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. No karma, the actual performance of karma yoga, come from the Brahma or the Vedas. From where Vedas have come from? This is also very interesting. Everything has its origin in Brahman. What we see this word, something with names and form, etc., has a source which has no names and form. So you go to the forest, you will see a lot of plants and the trees. We know the origin of the plants and trees lies in the seed. If you open the seed, you will see nothing there. That is the instruction of a saint, of the sage, to his disciple. He says, open the seed, what you will see there? I do not see anything. So that is the origin of a big tree. You don't see anything, isn't it? But there is something you have not seen. There is a big tree hidden in this seed. Because if we sow the seed, it will grow into a big plant and then big tree. The big tree is hidden in the seed. So in the same way, the unmanifested is the cause of the manifested. So another idea is, suppose if I see a rope in the light, when the light is off, I may see the snake in the same position. Where has snake come from? Snake has origin in the rope. Rope is nothing but the snake. I imagine snake on the rope, isn't it? In the same way, the reality is one, Brahman. It is called Akshara, imperishable. It has no destruction at all. It has no beginning, it has no end. It is Atman, it is Paramatman. It is what is called Brahman in the popular word. So that Brahman appears as this word. This Brahman has the origin of everything. This Brahman is the origin of these Vedas also. So, a Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. The ultimate Brahman, the Nirguna Brahman or the Paramatman is the source of everything, including this Veda, the instructions about dharma. The instructions about dharma is the source of karma yoga or the dharma. And that the karma, actual performance, will lead to the result, papa and the punya. The accumulation of punya, that is called yagna, or in technically it is called apurva, that will be the cause of the parjanya or the rains. And rains will become the cause or the origin of all the living beings. So ultimately what we can derive is all the living beings have source in Brahman or the imperishable. So we all have come from the God, we are living in God, and we go back to the God. आनंदाद्यैव खल्विमानि भूतानि जायन्ते आनंदेन जातानि जीवन्ति आनंदात् यत् प्रविशन्ति तद्विजिज्ञासत्वा तद्ब्रह्मा. From where all the creatures have come out, and all the creatures, all the livings are living, and all the creatures are living are moving towards and will merge into, that is what is Brahman, and that is what has become the Veda. This immutable Akshara is what has become the Vedas, and Vedas will give rise to the actual performance. It will give instruction that actual performance of good actions or the Karma Yoga or the Dharma will result into good result, Papa or the Punya, not Papa, in this case only Punya. The accumulation of all the Punyas will lead to good rains. The good rains will lead to good harvest or the food for the creature. It is the food that is the origin of all the living beings. So ultimately all the living beings, all the creatures and all the things we see in this world, plants, animals, human beings, everything has got its origin in the immutable Akshara Brahman. Kshara means that get destroyed. That form, if it deviates, that form which changes is called Kshara. That which doesn't change, which always remains the same, is called the Akshara. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. And Krishna emphasizes the importance of yajna and the action. So yajna, we have seen, yajna is the result and the karma is the action. He emphasizes karma. Everything is centered on the yajna. Though the Brahma, the Veda is all revealing. We know Vedas contains several descriptions how the creation takes place, what is the destiny of the creatures, what is Papa, what is Punya, what will happen after the death, what was there before the death, and all these alaukika things, that which is the transcendental thing, what are the devatas, all things are described in the Vedas. So Vedas are said to be omnipresent, sarvagata, that which describes everything. It is encyclopedic in nature. Though the Vedas is almost omnipresent, sarvagata, but the main emphasis of the Veda, main emphasis of all the scriptures in the Hindu tradition is action or the yajna or the sacrifice. That's why Krishna says, Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. Therefore, though Veda is all comprehending, all knowing, omnipresent, it presents everywhere. It touches all the spheres of the human life or the cosmic life. Though it contains everything, it is established in sacrifice and its results, action, the source, action, karma and the yajna. Though it is little bit confusing, we have to understand yajna is the result of the karma, punya, but the actual performance of yajna, here it is called the karma. Karma and the yajna, these are the sum and substance, the central teaching of the Vedas. So, since the central teaching of the yajna or the Vedas is yajna, one should follow the teachings of the yajna, Vedas, that is yajna. Everybody should perform the yajna. Everybody should be engaged in yajna, not in the yajna of the throwing ghee or offerings in the fire, just to be doing selfless action for the sake of society, wherever I am, whatever I may be doing, I should be completely selfless. I should be a man of pity, sympathy, compassion to others. I should place myself in the other's shoes, and I should see myself in others. So Krishna himself says, I should see the suffering of others as my own suffering. I should see the pleasures of others as my own pleasure. I should share my joys and sorrows with the others, and incessantly I should work for the others. This is the sign of Mahapurusha. And Swami Vivekananda, of all the people, considers Bhagavan Buddha as the greatest karma yogi, because Gautama Buddha, Bhagavan Buddha, incessantly worked for the welfare of others. How to remove the dukkha or the suffering of the others, and what is the way out of this suffering? How to be free from this suffering, because suffering is a fact of life. One cannot escape from that. So these are the basic teachings on which Bhagavan Buddha worked upon. He spent whole life to assuage the sufferings of others. He worked and worked and worked incessantly up until the end of his life. So Swami Vivekananda says, Bhagavan Buddha is the greatest of karma yogi. So all great characters we find in this world, whether it is Jesus Christ, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna, are all the great karma yogis. So Swamiji says in one of his hymns, Sri Ramakrishna is a great karma yogi. Karma kathor, he says in the Aratrika. Karma kathor means at the end of his life, the whole life he was doing karma. For few years, at least 12 years, he did karma as the sadhana. Sadhana or the spiritual practice. But the end of his life, he spent whole energy, his mental energy, physical energy, everything for the welfare of others. And we are going to read that concept, Loka Sangraha, to remove the sufferings of the people, for the welfare of the people, to prevent the people from going into wrong path. Sri Ramakrishna spent his whole life. He is a great karma yogi. So this is how one should try to live for others. So this is the meaning of Nityam Brahma, Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma. So though Veda is encyclopedic, Veda touches all parts of the human life. Veda is omnipresent, omnipresent and omniscient. Its central teaching is performance of karma yoga or the yagna. This is the chakra. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayaha aghayuhu indriyaramaha mogham partha sajivati. This is the chakra, pravartayati. It is set in motion by none other than the Lord Himself. Evam pravartitam. It is not you and I are the causes of this cycle. It is going on from the time immemorial. Lots of hundreds of cycles of creation have already been run. Now again you see in hundreds and thousands of years and infinite time the cycle will go on. So there is no beginning to this cycle and there is no end to this cycle. This is the karma chakra. This is the yagna chakra Krishna is teaching us. This life cycle, this cycle of chakra, arrangement of mutual dependence, one depending upon the another. As I told you, nobody is independent. You cannot say, I am independent, I live independently, I don't depend upon others. Nobody can say like that, because everything depends upon the another. This is the interconnectedness of life that is very, very important to know. Our life depends upon others, and I am dependent upon others, and someone else is dependent upon me. So I should live such a life where I can be of useful to others, where people should remember me. This man or this woman is very much helpful to the society, and he has done so much work for the society, and people should remember in this manner. If we live a sinful life, means we are not following this chakra. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati. One who doesn't follow. What is not following the chakra? Not following the chakra means leading a selfish life, leading a despotic life, leading a life where you trouble others, persecute others, abuse others, always giving trouble to others. That is the life of a person who is not following the chakra or the Srishti chakra or the karma chakra. If we help others, if we do a life of sacrifice to others, if we do every action as a karma yoga, and that is how we are following the karma chakra or the Srishti chakra. If we don't follow it, and our life will be a sinful life. And once again Krishna uses very strong words, aghayuhu. Such life is aghayu. Agha means sinful. Ayu means the span of life. Our whole lifespan will be spent as if in doing evil action. What evil action I am doing? No evil action, more evil. No action is more evil, more sinful than living a selfish life, self-centered life, egoistic life. Krishna wants us. And such people are called Indriya Ramaha. So we depend upon the objects of the senses. If we want to have pleasure through our eyes, always they depend upon something to see and enjoy. And the object of seeing becomes the sources of enjoyment for us. If I don't see something, if I don't watch TV, or if I don't watch a movie, I will not get pleasure at all, as if my whole happiness or the pleasure depends upon something to see. That is what is called Indriya Ramaha. I take pleasure only in the Indriyas. And such people, sinful people, always depend upon their Indriyas for their pleasure. And because they don't get pleasure by performing karma yoga. Karma yoga is the source of joy. If you lead a selfless life, you will come to know. Suppose you are enjoying a good food in the hotel or in a restaurant or in some other public place. You will find a poor man standing there without food, and if you share the food, the joy will be immense. That joy will be much more than you enjoying the food independently without giving to anyone. If you eat the food, you will get pleasure, but if you share the food, you will get much more joy. That people do not understand at all. Sharing is real, a joyful experience. Living for others is a joyful experience. Sri Ramakrishna lived a wonderful life full of joy, full of happiness, full of bliss, because he was living for others. Swami Vivekananda lived a life for others, so he enjoyed his life. So the lives of Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, and Mahatma Gandhi and others, they all lived life for others. If you see Krishna's life itself, Krishna never became a king, but he was considered a kingmaker. Always he stood for the dharma. Always he stood for the righteousness. He never cared for the prestige. He never cared for his own selfish. He always, wherever there is a need to protect the dharma, he would go and fight for the dharma. He never cared for his self-interest. He never became the king at all. So this is the life we have to emulate or imitate. So there is a beautiful book by Thomas A. Kempis. He says, so one should follow, one should imitate the Christ. It is not enough to worship the Christ, but one should imitate the qualities of the Christ. So Krishna shows how to imitate the great persons like himself, Krishna, Buddha, Rama and others. It is not enough to worship the Krishna and Rama as God. Why we have to read Ramayana? Why we have to read Bhagavata and Mahabharata? So that we can imbibe some of the great qualities of the great ones depicted in Mahabharata and other scriptures. So Krishna says, if you don't follow it, you will lead a sinful life. The sinful life means always deriving pleasures from indriyas. That is the common factor between animals and the human beings. So we are next to brutes. We don't transcend ourselves from the state of brutes or the animals if we take pleasures only in our senses. Mogham parthasa jivati. Such a person live in vain. It is wasteful life. So we say a dog's life is a wasteful life because a dog was always engaged in eating and drinking and sleeping. So our life also. What is the difference between a dog's life and our life? What is the difference between our life and an animal's life? We are living an animal's life in the human body. What a pity. So Krishna asks us, every one of us, to transcend the animal life and lead a good life, human life, so that the human life should be transcendent to the divine life. Divine life is one where we find oneness with others. We find everyone within us and we find ourselves within everybody. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate veda yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. One sees same Atman everywhere, and one who sees all the beings in oneself. One doesn't see himself different from others. One who doesn't see others different from him. Such a person is the greatest person. That is the goal of life. So description of such a great one is the substance or the essence of the next sloka. So here it is in dire contrast with the ordinary life we are living here. Krishna condemns such a person as Indriya Rama, Aghayu, etc. See the difference in the next sloka. Yastvatma ratireva syat atma truptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. So in contrast, you will find all your works drop off if you are in the state of Atmarati. Of course, you should continue to do the work because Krishna himself is a man of self-realization. He had nothing to do with the war of Mahabharata. He had nothing to gain or nothing to lose. Still, he wanted war to take place because he wanted dharma to prevail, righteousness to prevail, truthfulness to prevail on this earth. So Krishna, as if he is describing his own state, Atmarati, Rati means playing, enjoying. What he is enjoying? He is enjoying himself. Atmarati. Yastvatma ratireva syat. He delights in the self alone. You can replace self with the Paramatman also. One who delights in the God and God alone. Yastvatma ratireva. He delights only in Atman, only in Paramatman, only in the self, only in the Lord, Supreme Lord. Such a person. And because he delights in the God and God alone, and he is satisfied with the God. Suppose I am very much delighted in eating dosa. If somebody offers me jalebi, I say, no jalebi, I am very much satisfied with the dosa, because I am finding delight in dosa itself. So if you are delighted, if you are enjoying something, you don't require something else to make you more enjoyable. So in the same way, when you are enjoying the bliss of God, you don't want anything else. Atma truptascha manavaha. He is satisfied with the Atma or the God. Because he delights in the Atma, he is completely satisfied with the God or the Atma. Such is the state of the man where one can say, all my karmas have dropped off. Till I am doing work. Krishna says, I am doing work, you should not stop the work. But one should do, they will be doing, such people will be doing work without any kind of attachment. Yastvatma ratireva syat atma truptascha manavaha, because they find happiness or the joy or the bliss only in Atman or the God. Atmanyeva cha santushtaha. For such man, there is no bondage of work. Tasya karyam na vidyate. Here karma word is not used. Karya word is used. That is very important to us. Karya means something to be done. Kartavya we call in Kannada and other languages. Kartavya means duty. There is no duty to be done. He has no bounded duty at all. Suppose a CEO is working and he has got retired, he is the owner of the company. From next day after retirement, he goes to office and sits in his office and engages in discussion and takes a responsible decision, but he has absolutely no duty to perform. He is doing his work as his pleasure. Work is like a tool in his hand. Work is not something bonding to him. So that is the difference between the work done by an ordinary man and work done by a great man like Lord Krishna. So Sri Ramakrishna, what work Sri Ramakrishna has to do in this world? He is the self-realized person. He has seen God. He has realized the God. He himself is the Avatara Purusha. He has nothing to do. Yet he continues to do the work. Karma kato, karma kalevara madbhuta cheshtam yami gurum. Swami Vivekananda says, through his kalevara or the body, Sri Ramakrishna went on doing extreme kind of work, preaching the word about God and showing the world how to reach the God. So, tasya karyam na vidyate. For him there is no work. For us there are duties. We have to perform duty to our family, duty to son, duty to wife, duty to husband. But absolutely one who delights in Atman, one who is satisfied with the Atman, one who finds joyfulness in the Atman, doesn't have any work, still he continues to do work. That is the idea. Naiva tasya krutenarthaha nakruteneha kaschana nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschidartha vyapashrayaha. Krutena arthaha nasti. So in our case, we do every work for a purpose, with a goal motive. So if I do work, I will get the salary. That is the artha, that is the objective of the work. For a man who has retired himself, if he continues to do the work, for him there is no artha at all. For Krishna, what is artha? What is the purpose of the work? No purpose at all. Krishna says in the coming chapter, he says, I have no duty to perform in the three worlds. Still I am doing work, because if I don't do the work, others will also not do the work. They will just follow me, etc. Naiva tasya krutena artaha. If he does something It has no purpose at all. Artha, there is nothing to gain from any kind of work. Nakrute neha kaschana. If he doesn't do work, he has nothing to lose also. But not in your case. If you don't do work, we will lose the great opportunity to purify ourselves. As I told you repeatedly, karma or the action is not for the sake of enjoyments of this world. Karma done in the right spirit will purify the world. We have to purify ourselves. Suppose a person is already purified, a man of realization. So for him there is no objective in the work at all. But Krishna says he has to continue to do the work. Still he has to continue to work. Why he has to do the work? Krishna explains after some one or two shlokas. Na akrute neha kaschana. In this world there is nothing to lose from not doing the work. Nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashrayaha. Vyapashraya means ashrayaniya. Shankaracharya explains. Ashrayaniya means depending upon something else. So I do every work depending upon something for my result. Suppose if I do work, my boss will give me salary. My boss is the ashraya. He is the one on which I depend upon. But there is no one is this person, the man of realization, doesn't depend upon anyone to satisfy something. Because he has nothing to gain, nothing to lose. He delights in the Atman. He is satisfied in the Atman. So he nothing, there is no objective for him to gain. There is nothing to lose also. So he has nothing in this world. In whole world, there is no one in this world, in this whole world, on which he can depend upon to satisfy some objective, to gain some objective, to serve the purpose. This is the meaning. Nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashrayaha. Vyapashraya means depending. So no dependence. Sarva bhutani means he doesn't depend upon any created objective, created being. No person, no object in this world becomes a dependable object to serve a purpose for him. So such a person also should continue to do the work, Krishna says, because such people will show the world how to do work. They become the model of the work. They become exemplars of the work. So we have to follow them. So Krishna is such a great soul, great God, who was working in this human body, and he is still working. As Sri Ramakrishna worked incessantly and continuously for the welfare of the world, that is called Loka Sangraha in Bhagavadgita. So Krishna also worked for his people, worked for the society, worked for the country. Now through Bhagavadgita, he is working for the whole humanity. So Krishna is still working. So what is the model for our work? How to do work? So we have to follow Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Krishna. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.